Hi, this is Bruce Buffer, your voice of the Octagon, and you're listening to MMA Mental.
Hello, okay, we are now joined by David the Caveman Rickels. Just want to say, really appreciate you coming on today, so thank you for being with us, David.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure to join you guys.
And you're with myself, Ray, and my co-host Patrick on the MMA Mental podcast.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I'm happy to be on.
Right, well, let's talk about your last fight. You're obviously coming off a massive victory, and you've advanced to the last 4 of the tournament. How did you feel going into your fight with Lloyd Woodard? It's fair to say that was always going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Lloyd's definitely a tough guy, and to be quite frank, we expected a little bit more of a war. I think he said I hurt his knee in the first round, which could have been it just played out the way it did, and I put a beating on him, and it was a good fight. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean you've had a very impressive run in Bellator. You've only actually lost the one fight. Are you looking forward to your next round match now against you're facing Alexander Sanovsky? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And absolutely, man, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Sarnowski's a very tough fight, and so am I. So I think he's got his hands full, and so do I. And I'm expecting a tough fight.
I think this is actually quite a stacked tournament, and I think it's fair to say as well. I think in the other fight, I imagine going into that fight, Will Brooks is going to be a big favourite because I think there's not a lot known about his opponent. He's a bit of a newcomer, isn't he? And he's kind of I think he pulled off a bit of a shock in the last round, Saeed Awad. Do you kind of feel that your fight is, you kind of feel whoever wins that's going to go on to win the final?
Yeah, absolutely. I think me and Sarnowski are like 2 of the better, well-rounded fighters. Brooks definitely has amazing grappling, but I just see it going that way. I think Sarnowski is the toughest fight for me right now. And then, I move on to the next one. If Brooks loses somehow, which I don't think he will, I expect him to be in the finals. But, I take one fight at a time, and my focus is on Tiger right now.
Absolutely, and I don't think you can do it any other way. Now, obviously, it's fair to say it's a very exciting time for Bellator at the moment because Bellator has recently switched across to Spike TV, which is a bigger platform. What impact has that had on you with exposure? Do you feel you're getting more exposure now that you're on Spike TV?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you could just check it out one way. I mean, a simple way is my Twitter followers have gone up significantly, which is great for me. Helps me put my sponsors out there and whatnot. And, with that also comes more sponsorship money, which is good for fighters because we really don't get paid that much. And, we earn every penny, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. You do earn every penny. And I think it's fair to say that, Bellator have proven that, and I say Bellator, that's the promotion and the fighters, that they deserve this platform. I mean, Bellator's been putting on some fantastic shows for years, and they just don't get the credit that they deserve. And I think now they're on a bigger platform, people are actually going to see how talented the Bellator roster is.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I think one of the big things is, I'm sure it happens to other fighters too in Bellator, but everyone's like, when are you going to be in the UFC? When are you going to do this? I'm happy with Bellator. I feel like with their moving over to the Spike TV, it's everybody's pushing themselves to make themselves better fighters, put on amazing shows, because we've really stepped up in competition and the caliber, and exactly you said, the platform. The platform has changed a lot, being Spike TV, and we've got a big name to uphold.
You sum it up. You absolutely have. And what are your thoughts on this new reality? There's obviously been a lot of news about the new reality program that's coming on. How much exposure do you think that's going to give Bellator, and how's that going to help the Bellator brand grow? Do you feel?
I don't know a whole lot about the premise of the show and how it's going to work exactly, but I think that they should basically throw in wild animals, a bottle of vodka, and, make it more entertaining. I just don't want them to do the exact same thing as the Ultimate Fighter. I feel like Ultimate Fighter's ratings are going down right now. And, for us to do the exact same thing would be kind of stupid. But like I said, I don't know how they're going to do it. But I think they need to throw in some drama in there, like some poisonous snakes or something.
Well, going back to you, obviously you started fighting professionally in 2010. I know you fought amateur before that. What made you want to get into mixed martial arts?
Well, I just always kind of enjoyed fighting. I never was, violent or anything when I was a kid, but we'd always get together in the backyard, me and a couple of the friends, and we'd go at it. We'd put on the boxing gloves and, go after it. And I wrestled a little bit in high school. And one of my buddies came up to me one day. He's like, "Man, you got to check out this gym. You'd love it." That it was a kickboxing gym actually. And I went up there and joined, and I haven't looked back.
And going on your history before MMA, had you trained in any other martial art? What was your background in any other combat sport, whether it be wrestling, boxing, anything like that?
Well, yeah, like I said, I started in wrestling. I did that for a couple years. I was never big into team sports or anything. I really like especially with MMA, it's you against another man. There's no one to put blame on. It's you and him. Just straight to the point, Muay Thai. It was a Muay Thai gym that I joined, and I really fell in love with it.
Well, I know Patrick's easy to jump in. Are you good to go, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm set, Ray, and thanks again for coming on, David. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely, man. I'm like I said, I'm happy to be on, man.
Yeah, great to talk to the caveman. Now, you and Ray had touched on it a little bit. You're coming off a real big win against Lloyd Woodard. It was just 8 days ago. It was a close fight to start. The first round was pretty close, but you really put a hurting on him in the second and third rounds. Do you feel that performance could have gone any better than it did?
Man, I was ecstatic directly afterwards. The only thing that better could have happened he would have fallen down when I was, turning his chin completely sideways. I put some hard shots on him, and I really wanted him to go down, but I was trying to be a smarter fighter. A lot of times when I would try to really go after him, he was initiating the clinch, and then ended up getting on top of me a couple times. And I don't like being on bottom. I'm pretty good there, but I don't prefer it.
Yeah, I hear that. Now, you talked about being a smarter fighter, and you and Ray also talked about it. Your only loss was a contentious decision to call Amasu. Lots of people, including myself, thought you won that fight. Did that change the way that you train or you fight right now?
I hate to say it, like it's changed how I fight. Cause I really still think I have kind of a go-getter kind of fight style. I really like to, get after it and mix it up, and, for one, make it entertaining. And two, maybe slight changes I have made is, I've really upped my wrestling quite a bit because, as you saw, did you watch the fights the other night? The Bellator with Marlon Sandro?
Your fight or just last night's Bellator?
Last night's with Marlon Sandro.
You know what? I got it recorded. I didn't get a chance to check it out live.
Well, they really weighed heavy on takedowns. Basically what I'm trying to get at is like, you never know what the judge is seeing. A couple takedowns could steal a fight, and I don't like being on bottom, and it looks bad to the judges too. So that's something I've been focused on is wrestling, and obviously sharpening up everywhere else.
Yeah, certainly. And perhaps change wasn't the best term. I probably should have gone for improved because like you mentioned, it's obvious to everyone who's seen you fight. You're absolutely an exciting fighter, and definitely have one of the best and most well-rounded skill sets in Bellator. So there's been a lot of talk. There's a lot of kind of cutting weight is kind of the in vogue thing right now. Is 170 where you're staying, or is there any possibility of you dropping to 155 or?
Well, yeah, this last fight was at the 55 for the tournament. So you're absolutely right, man. I did drop from 70 to 55.
Okay, no, how are you feeling at 155?
I actually had a catchweight fight with Jason Fisher before the tournament started at 60, and yeah, I didn't feel too great. But this last fight with Woodard, you know, a guy who's always fought 55, you know, I completely gassed him and you know, felt good all the way till bell to bell. So you know, I think it's a good home for me.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's a good home. You definitely had a gas in your tank in the later rounds and put it on Woodard. It was a good showing. You know, it's been a good catching up with you, Caveman. Just before we let you go, we'd like to give you a chance to shout out any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, check out, you know, you can search for me, David Rickels, on Facebook, or follow me on Twitter at TheCaveman316. Basically just want to shout out a couple sponsors, you know, On It Labs, Joe Rogan endorsed, Caveman endorsed, great supplement company. You know, Unbreakable Mouthpieces, they take care of me for all my fights. KO Representatives, they hook me up. And that's pretty much it, man.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming on, Caveman, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you in your next match.
Absolutely, guys. I had fun.
Thank you very much.
Fun talking with you guys.
Thank you.
Take care, Dave.
Speak to you soon.
Yep, y'all too.